How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and in today's video I'll be unboxing, setting up, and reviewing the Gemmy Freddy Krueger Animatronic sold exclusively on HalloweenCostumes.com. Now, if you want to pick up this animatronic or anything else on HalloweenCostumes.com, be sure to use my link in the description that will get you 15% off, and you'll also be helping out the channel in the process, so I'd really appreciate it. Anyways, Freddy Krueger of course comes from the film franchise A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I love A Nightmare on Elm Street personally. Great movie, great franchise, and especially a great slasher villain, Freddy Krueger. So I'm really excited to finally see this guy in real life and not just in my dreams. So let's open up the box and take him out. Alright, so here is what you see when you first open up the box, and the first thing that catches your eye is the iconic red and green sweater, as well as his classic fedora he's always wearing. So let's start taking everything out. Let's begin the unboxing. First thing out, we have Freddy's classic fedora, which actually fits on me. Here is Freddy's classic brown fedora. I mean, this is a pretty decent material, and yes, it does fit on my head, so it'll probably fit on yours. Pretty much captured this from the movie perfectly. Wasn't too hard to do, and it looks pretty cool. Next thing out of the box, we have the base and shoes. Now this is interesting because the shoes are literally drilled into the base here, which I haven't seen on an animatronic before, but this is my first Gemmy prop, so I guess I'm not used to it. Anyways, these feel pretty high quality, and the shoes themselves just look like a pretty standard mold. Nothing special or trying to recreate from the movie here, which I think is fine, because you're really not going to be looking at his feet anyways. Here we have the instructions, his pants, and of course, his glove. Here we have the most iconic part of Freddy Krueger, the glove. And it looks like the fingers will be animated on the prop, which is definitely the coolest part of this thing for sure. But look at those gnarly blades. This guy can do some serious damage, and has done, if you've seen the movies, a lot of serious damage with this thing. Here we have some poles. Some connector poles, it looks like. And here we have the entire torso. Here we have the torso and hand. Get a look at the burns on those hands. That is so gnarly. Here is the torso. Again, of course, you have his iconic red and green sweater. I love it. Looks just straight out of the movie. That is so cool. And finally, the last thing out of the box is the head. Now here is the dream demon himself, Freddy Krueger. I have to say, I do like the face mold on this. I think it's pretty accurate looking to the movie. It's not the most super detailed thing in the world, but it gets the job done for sure. Now that we got everything out of the box, let's begin the setup. So for this setup, like most, we start with the base, of course. Then we're gonna wanna slide the leg poles in. These aren't snap locks, they literally just slide right in. They will slide out just as easily, so be careful when moving him. Then come the pants, just slide them right over. Then comes the torso, which is so nice that it comes all in one piece. Say what you want about Gemmy, but their setups are really easy. Then comes the glove, it's super easy to connect. Now the last thing to go on is the head, so let's do it. And just like I said, we're gonna attach the head. Easy as that. Well, he's all set up now, and I have to say, he's looking like something straight out of my nightmares. Well, there's only one thing left to do now, so let's plug him in.
Come here, little piggy. Freddy's got a treat for you. This Halloween will be the stuff that nightmares are made of. Come trick or treat at my house. It's over on Elm Street. I'll leave the light on for you. Oh, what's wrong? Did someone have a nightmare? My knives are nice, but they look much better when they're in your stomach.
Now that you got to see the Freddy Krueger animatronic in action and all animated, it is time for me to review him. I'll start off with the accuracy to the movie, because I think that's the most important when it comes to the licensed props here. I think they did a really good job overall. They got the sweater down perfectly, no complaints there. I love the burn marks especially. The glove, while it's not as scrap metal-y looking as it could have been, I think it gets the job done well enough. And I do like how you have those blackened weld marks on the fingertips where the knives connect. That's a nice detail. And then for the face, of course, this is the big one here. I think they actually did a pretty good job. I think considering Gemmy's previous track record with a lot of licensed characters' faces, they did a really good job on this one. I think it captures the essence of Freddy Krueger pretty damn well. So overall, for the accuracy and authenticity to the film, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10 on this prop. For the most part, I think they nailed it pretty well here. I honestly have to say, this animatronic here is on par with the Freddy Krueger animatronics made by Gemmy from the 2000s and 2010s. I know that's a very controversial thing to say, but I actually really like this one here. And I think, again, it's very authentic to the movie, which is cool. Now let's move on to the animation. The animation here is super simple, but very effective, especially the finger moving. I'll start with that first. I love how he moves the fingers on the glove. It is so cool and adds a very unique aspect to the prop because hardly any animatronics have finger movement, and they chose probably the best character to put it on, honestly. So I really like that. But besides the finger movement, he just raises his arm up and down. I think he could have really used some mouth animation though. I know Gemmy really doesn't do the latex faces or latex heads on props anymore. They typically just stick with the big plastic molds. I think if he had a latex face and it looked just as good as the plastic one he has, that would have been really cool to see mouth animation on this guy, because that's what Freddy Krueger is known for, having a big mouth in the movies, that is for sure. Other than that, I think the animation is just fine. It's super simple, but I really love the finger movements. Now finally, let's talk about the phrases and audio. So typically for licensed props, I prefer when they lift the phrases straight from the films, but I really don't think they had an option here because Freddy swears way too much in those movies to put any of those phrases onto a life-size Halloween animatronic that kids are going to be walking up and singing. So I definitely understand why they hired a voice actor here. But the voice actor they hired does a really good job here, and I think it's pretty spot on to the films. I also like the amount of phrases this guy has, and even though there's no swearing involved, some of them do feel like stuff Freddy would say, like the one where he's talking about sticking his fingers into your stomach, which I think is cool. And I actually like how a few of them reference the holiday of Halloween itself, like when he says, "Come trick-or-treat at my house," it's on Elm Street. I like that one a lot. Other than that, there are a lot of phrases to this guy. I think he has like almost 10 of them, which is super rare to see for a prop these days, but it's definitely welcome, and I do like it a lot. So overall, I think all of his phrases are pretty cool, and the voice as well is a nice surprise. So overall, my final verdict is I definitely recommend this guy if you're a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street film franchise. This is just one of the best Freddy animatronics ever made, in my opinion, and honestly, probably one of the best Halloween life-size animatronics made by Gemmy within the past decade at this point. So it's really nice to see them getting back on their game with this Freddy Krueger animatronic right here. Anyways, everybody, I hope you really enjoyed this animatronic unboxing, setup, and review. Be sure to like, subscribe. Again, use my links in the description to get this guy or anything else you want on HalloweenCostumes.com, and you'll be getting yourself a nice 15% off discount, as well as helping out the channel. With that, everybody, remember, nobody outpixelates the pumpkin.